Alright guys, welcome back to Pillars of Eternity, and yeah, okay. When we last left off, we got a lot of side stuff, and let's see. Actually, let's do, I think I was gonna keep going for a voice from the past. But this is in Copper Lane, and we've been to Copper Lane, and we've been through this Scriveners. So I think what we're gonna do is just go there really quickly, because the other place we haven't actually been to. What is it? Brackenberry. We haven't been to Brackenberry, so we're gonna go to Copper Lane. Okay, so where are we? Right here, closest points. No, that's Brackenberry. Well, I guess we're going to go. Yeah, okay, Copper Lane. And honestly, I have loved playing this game so much. I wish I knew a little bit more about how some of the leveling up worked based on a lot of other stuff and the RNG and all that, because this is more based on like I think this is more based on D&D type stuff than stuff that I'm more used to, because what I'm used to is more of if you ever played Mutant Year Zero, Wasteland, which I can't wait to play, that kind of thing. Alright.
How's the hand?
Turning purple. I'd have to cut it
What?
off.
I warned you not to pet him.
Oh.
If I'm not supposed to pet him, why is he so soft?
That was funny. Okay, the Scrivener's dormitory. That's right, it's here, right? Right here. If I'm not supposed to pet him, then why is he so soft? That was funny. But I plan on doing a ton of the CRPGs. Like I said, the Wastelands. I want to try the first one, the remastered one. Not sure if I'll be able to, because it's very odd the way it's kind of set up. Vienna's diary, huh? This looks like a diary belonging to someone named Vienna. The latest entry bears yesterday's date. Clessia arrives tomorrow the way we parted after her last visit. I didn't think she'd return. When I received the letter from Ozia, I expected the worst. The distance has been hard for her, and my focus on my research hasn't made things any easier. Tomorrow none of that will matter. The things we said, the things I didn't say, I'll have the chance to make it up to her. I wish we had more privacy here, but for now, the old house on the north side of Ondra's Gift is still empty. North side of Odra's Gift. But yeah, Wasteland 2, which unfortunately is kind of like this one with the voice acting. You have to read like 90% of it. But Wasteland 3 is fully voice acted. The first Wasteland, I'm not sure is at all.
Well, whatever happens, at least we're out of that mud hole, Gilded Vale. I grew up in Gilded Vale. Quaint. That's what I meant to call it. No, you had it right.
Okay, so Commander Cliver. I learned that Vienna was going to meet a woman named in Odra's Gift. So okay, so that's over here. So again, Won't be able to do that one just yet because I don't want to go away, you know, and do all this kind of crazy stuff. So, let's go ahead. Go back to A Voice from the Past. So we need to go to Brackenberry Sanatorium. Another one is Divinity Original Sin, and the second one. And then I want to try, because Baldur's Gate 3 is in early access right now. I would love to be able to do the first two first. But they're, you know, I think they're made in the early 90s, I think. I'm not sure. And from the way it's looked, it's going to be kind of tough. Okay, so this place isn't huge. Sanatorium all the way over there. There's Ode to Odor's Gift. Hadrid House. So we'll go ahead and explore everything before we get into Sanatorium. The Charred Barrel. Oh, this looks like a place to sell and buy, so we'll go here first. The first two Fallouts and Fallout Tactics, if I can get them to work. Each plate and utensil has been polished to a spotless shine. The thin-stemmed goblets ring melodiously at the strike of a fingernail. Thirstwin. The young elf is dressed in gaudy robes that he seems ready to cast off. He picks at a heavily brocaded sleeve and continually adjusts the gold chain around his neck. He looks up at you. Did she send you to run me out of town? You can tell I'm not going anywhere without the medallion. I told Cyril I wouldn't let her sell it. If that's what you are here about, then save yourself the trouble. He puffs up his chest but glances at the exit. What are you talking about? He relaxes. If you have to ask, then you're obviously not here to shake me down. Cyril's a courtesan over at the Salty Mast in Odor's Gift. We've been working together for over a year now. I find a noble with more money than sense, fill him up with liquor and send him her way. They have a good time and Cyril takes her fee, and a little extra. He rubs his fingers together. 100 coppers here, a trinket there. It's a bounty for us, and these lords and ladies never notice anything missing. Go on. Anyway, we always split the bounty until a week ago. He squeezes his lips into a tight frown. She takes a necklace off of some noble. It's an Engwithian medallion, damn near priceless. That relic is sacred to my clan, but she won't part with it for any sum I could afford. He tugs the gold chain around his neck, and even if I wanted to, I can't go home without it. Sagani's brow furrows in pity. That's a hard thing. I'll see about getting the medallion. Tell me more about your situation. He picks at the hem of his sleeve. What do you want to know? What makes this medallion so important to you? I grew up in Air Glanfath with the Shattering Spear clan. We Glanfathans have protected Engwithan ruins for thousands of years. It's the one duty the gods ask of us in exchange for the freedom to live as we please. He fidgets with an emerald ring on his pinky, but treasure hunters looted the ruins in our territory and we left the wilds we dwelled in for generations. Sorry. Most of my clan mates scattered to towns around the Deerwood and probably live on crusts of bread. He looks at his embroidered robes with disgust. Restoring this medallion to the ruins would earn us the god's forgiveness. The Shattering Spear could go home. This is all rather fascinating. A single medallion to earn the god's favor and so return home? It rather reminds me of a story I heard somewhere. Tell me about Sarah. She's a courtesan at the Salty Mast over in Odor's Gift. She wasn't born to much, but she's done what she has to in order to escape that. He gazes at a string of amber beads around his wrist. She's a good friend. He folds his arms in his trailing, wrinkled sleeves. Without her, I'd probably be living hand to mouth like the rest of the Shattering Spear. But this isn't about her or me. It's about the 40 people in my clan and the way of life we've held for generations. You seem like you've done well enough for yourself. He clenches his heavily adorned hands. It was this or scrape by in the gutters, like the rest of my clan, but I give it all for the medallion. I offered to, but it's worth more than anything I've got, and Cyril knows it. I still don't understand why you can't take your money and return to Air Glanfath. He sighs, arching his neatly plucked eyebrows. Of course, I could, but that's not the point. The community isn't a place, it's a connection to history and meaning. He makes circles with his wrist, like an anchor. Defending the ruins for the gods gave us a purpose. Without that, we're adrift. Does this make any sense to you? Oh yeah. He smiles and nods slowly. Then you know what it's like, how to care for something you can't explain. That's all I wanted to ask. God. So, will you help me get the medallion? Yeah, I'll see about getting the medallion from Cyril. You'll find her at the Salty Mass. The only way anyone sees her these days is by paying, so you'll have to go through Maya. He fidgets with his sleeve, but whatever you do, please don't hurt her. Okay, far from home. We'll talk to the merchants in a minute. That free milk. The scripts and props belong to a production of the most unfortunate tales of Favia and Bernat. Alright, well, let's go upstairs. Pirate.
Slow and silent.
I'll see what I can do. The work of a moment.
Not really worth stealing. Scroll of Nature's Mark. Some money. So we'll give that to him, I guess. Examitol, water jug fashioned from white clay. The map charts routes through the White March. Merwith watches you through kohl-rimmed eyes. She puts her hand on the hilt of her blade, jangling the jewels that hang from her wrist. We don't know each other, stranger, but best we keep it that way. What brings you to Charred Barrel? Merwith raises an eyebrow. What's it look like? Good wine and a little peace and quiet. She flips a copper coin with her thumb. And Scarian doesn't ask too many questions. You don't seem like a Brackenbury local. I'm a sailor. She gives you a half smile, and a liberator of certain goods. Merwith casually fingers a large earring. And the nice thing about the snobs here is that they're usually too polite to ask more. I'll be going. Okay, so that's possibly something for later on. It's my guess anyway. So this is just one little room. These are all bandits. Pale yellow and deep amber whiskeys from the Deerwood and Living Lands rest side by side. Flaccid and infamous soul burn of the Deadfire Archipelago are nestled next to crystal clear Nasatiki and Glenfathan spirits. The proprietor has collected a respectable variety of bottles from around the world, from the tart 80-year reds to sweet summer wines and Rete. Okay, just ripple sponge in there. Just having a little chat with my associates.
Yes,
So,
as you wish.
oh no, I mean everybody.
Well,
These are all bandits, right? So,
as you wish.
Ready, Watcher.
Following your lead.
How may I help?
Hey.
no? Can't, well, he can attack. That's weird.
What is it?
There we go. Ability to divide them, inflicting crush damage, knockdown.
Well,
Let's just say I don't take kindly to bandits. That was weird. There were just bandits downstairs, might as well. And nobody cared up here, so. Begging your pardon. Oh, it's you. It's good to see you well. We had a few rough days here, but then we found this place and they were kind enough to hire us both. Things have been wonderful. I can't tell you how much we appreciate what you've done. Oh, okay, that's it.
Good day,
Oh, here we go.
stranger.
Abelhart Scarion. The man is dressed in neat but functional clothes. His sun-wrinkled skin and limber musculature reflect a life spent in the wilderness. Well met. What brings you to the charred barrel? Is this your place? It's my retirement. He thumps the bar. It used to be a warehouse back when Brackenbury saw more ship traffic, but it fell out of use when the area became mostly residential. I inherited it from some great uncle who'd never had any luck pawning it off on my cousins. Now it's the most popular spot in Brackenbury. The nobles come to unwind, and kith from other districts come to mingle. He leans closer. We get a few rough types too, but they behave in here. Besides, their coins as good as anyone else's. Who are you? I was a cartographer for the Duke for decades. He rubbed his neatly stubbled cheek, crossed the White March half a dozen times, and mapped most of the ruins of the Thane Bog. He grins, flashing a gold tooth. A good career, but one suited to younger men. When I came back to Defiance Bay for good, Cleaver, and a few other friends in the Knights helped me get the Knights to refurbish this place. There's strong ale, quality entertainment, and a fresh sea breeze. He raises a mug. What more could a man want? Show me your menu? Okay, so he's just a foodie. Are we able to sell him, certain stuffs? Yeah, okay. Actually, we don't need all those great swords. Measured restraint and fine reaper 1116, 1116. Let's see. And these don't have anything in them, so Um... Oh, I think I sold one I didn't want to, but whatever. We don't need these hides either. I don't think, anyway. We can sell the books. This one doesn't give us anything. A faded portrait of a young nobleman still rests inside. His face has been worn away. Okay, that puts us at 25.5 thousand. Okay, so Raymont Manor, maybe next. And it's a pretty decently sized place. Servant and guard. Milk. The labels, all perfectly angled outward, boast an array of fine vintages. However, they're all coated in dust. Oh damn, there's a guard right there. The Light of Dawn, a Redcarian morality play, part 1. Not really feeling the plays, to be honest. They're very long, usually. Same thing. Sprigs of dried lavender and rosemary infuse the kitchen with a fresh aroma.
I'll see what I can do. The work of a moment.
Potion of Merciless Gaze. Okay. 15% of hits converted to graves. Man, I'd love to have that one. And some 80 clothing. Okay. The ledger lists quantities of wheat, copper, and rye wool. A deep crease along the spine suggests the book never closes.
Gods keep you.
Lord Raymond holds a shipping manifest in his well-manicured hands. Despite his expensive clothes, he has the sallow complexion and restless air of a man who devotes all of his days and most of his nights to work. If you have business to discuss, make an appointment with my attendant. I don't have time for unexpected visitors. Well, tell me about yourself first. He snaps the pages in his hands. I am lord of this house and not prone to idle chatter. If you have no business here, I suggest you be off. He doesn't look up from his papers. Oh, we kind of do.
Greetings.
We'll give him the letter. I've uncovered a plot to rob you. He lowers his papers and looks at you for the first time. Is that so? Let me see that. He scans the parchment with the speed of an expert clerk. When he returns his attention to you, his tone is brisk and businesslike. You've done this house and the city a great service. I'm certain you will consider this an adequate reward for your labors. A lot of experience. Oh, we could have... Damn, intellect, man. The letter was signed AD. Does that mean anything to you? Oh, we got 2,000 copper. And Ring of Unshackling. I suspect it means Abracan Demonel, the scion of House Demonel. A look of disgust crosses his face. A pandered lad, if there ever was one. He's ruthless, I'll give him that much. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the wits to match his appetites. What will you do now? Lord Raymond pinches crisp, sharp creases into the note. Eliminate the competition. Tell me about House Demonel. They were once an eminent and admired house. Now, they're just a den of thieves. Back in the Deer Woods colonial days, the Demonels were respected members of the ducal court, which is why it was so surprising that they remained loyal to Adir during Hadrian's rebellion. When Hadrian and the Deerwood won independence, the Demonels lost their favor but not their wealth. Rather than return to Adir, like other loyalist houses, they dug their heels in here and turned from politics to commerce. He shrugs. In one way of looking at it, they simply partner with the wrong side. Not that they haven't prospered since, in their own way. He rubs his jaw. Lately, they've been seeking to carve out a new niche for themselves, once right between the Crucible Knights and the Dozens, it seems. What's so important about this gem? The heart of White March is a nearly flawless diamond. It's also the patrimony of the dwarves of White March. It was seized by Adrian Lord in the early days of colonization, and the dwarves haven't forgotten it. Now the Knights and the Dozens are both bidding for it to make a peace offering to the dwarves. He shrugs. Whichever party buys it, the dwarves will make useful allies for Defiance Bay, especially these days. Farewell. Okay, so that was a super easy one to complete. The Ivory Horn added. The quest expires in 1 day. What? Reward 15% experience. The Nautilus of Graven. No companions at the stronghold. Oh, okay. That's interesting. So we can get kind of like side things if we have companions at the stronghold. That's cool. Interesting that they have this whole like side thing. That's really cool. Raymond's servant. The old serving woman regards you with bleary eyes. Begging your pardon, but I'm afraid I'll have to ask you to return downstairs. Visitors aren't permitted on the upper floor. Backhander. Whoa. She collapses without a sound. What? Sorry. Though exquisitely crafted this... Oh, shoot. I didn't mean that. I'll go ahead and load this. We'll go back downstairs. But we got this Ring of Unshackling. Suppresses affliction. Rings can feature plain bands or jewels. Oh, it doesn't really. Area of effects. Hostiles effects suspended over 5 seconds. Okay. So who... Well, actually, you can put on another ring, but you're not really close to anybody. He already has 2. You don't have any. We'll go ahead and give you a ring. And screw it, we'll go ahead and learn these. That can now go in there. Oh, why do you have so many daggers? Oh yeah, we killed a bunch of people.
As you wish.
Go ahead and save this one.
Yes?
The mortared stone wall is sheltered by the eaves. A knotty green vine climbs all the way up to the open window. Two ornate shutters seem to beckon to you. Let's test the vines. You give the vines a shake. They're thick and sturdy in your hands, but near the top they look flimsy. You might be able to make it to the top if you're quick. Climb up. You begin to ascend. As you rise, you feel the vines begin to give way beneath your weight. You attempt to scramble up the wall, pushing your limbs as fast as they move. The vines crumple to the ground while you struggle for purchase. Damn it. You return to the bottom exhausted. I guess we'll toss a grappling hook. We have a bunch. Or a bunch, we have two. You perch atop the windowsill and steady yourself against the frame while the breeze cools your back. You detect movement inside the house. Blinking as your eyes adjust to the dim interior, you slip inside the manor. Oh, I didn't know everybody was gonna come.
A blade in the dark.
The moons of Aurora. The light of dawn, a Red Zero and morality play. Alright, save.
Of course. There's something ahead.
How may I help? I'll see what I can do.
Alright, let's just see what happens. He's freaking out. Holy hell.
Some fermented caribou milk would hit this spot right now.
Aye? I'll have it in no time. The work of a moment.
Fine large shield and a great helm. Of course.
Go down fast.
Heart of the White March. Priceless jewel known for its pale glow and named after the equally famous mountain range. It was discovered in jewels like this were once believed to attract dragons.
All right then.
Yes.
I'll take a look.
I was not doing that. I didn't do that. Oh, hello, Durrance. Climb down the rope. Okay, so let's go back in and see if they know it was us.
As you wish.
Okay, they don't seem to.
Hail and well met.
Okay. So we got this. Heart of the White March. I'm guessing that's going to come in later because these seem to be like quest related things. Right? Yeah, quest item. Okay, so that'll come in later. 16-8. It has bashing 2. 16-8 plus 4 shield deflection. Deflection is a defense used to resist direct melee and ranged attacks against a character that are not area of effect. Whoops. Bash does 18 to 12 crush damage. Are we able to enchant this? No. Let's try out this one. Oh, there's the House Domino, okay. There isn't so much as a spot on these oranges. Doorman, guard.
Gods keep you.
The burly guard eyes you warily. I don't recognize you. What business do you have at House Domino? Tell me about House Domino. It's an old and respected family. Much of Defiant Space prosperity is due to Domino's business activities. Now, do you have any further business here? No, I guess not. I'll see you out. So, okay, can't even go in House Domino because they're a bunch of dicks. Don't let us in.
Hey, Olaf, can I, talk to your, your friend? What is it about Isilmir? I'm right here, you know. No, you're both great. It's just, well, I feel like I don't get to spend as much time with her, and she's just so funny. I mean, some of the things she says are not nearly as funny when you've been hearing them for 50 years.
Alrighty. The marble is cool and perfectly smooth. The droplets of crystal clear water be the statues. The marble at the base has been worn smooth by the passage of hundreds of feet. Hadrid House pretty large. Some of these vintages are even older than Defiance Bay. The map shows the environment surrounding Defiance Bay. Flags mark strategic access points of the city.
Well met, friend.
The only man is surrounded by books and scrolls. His wiry hair stands nearly on end, and his ears prick up as you approach. You carry whispers, Cad Noah, Gilded Veil, old voices indeed. How'd you know? The old man grins, revealing a row of dagger-pointed teeth. As a cipher, it's my job to know these things. You carry the whiff of ancients. What else can you tell me? His ears twitch downward. Not as much as I would like, unfortunately. My duties for Lady Webb require me to focus my talents elsewhere. He regards a table piled with scrolls. What brings you to Dunwood Row? Show him Penhelm's affidavit. Is this affidavit real? It's signed by you. He holds the page but seems to stare through the words as if at something woven in the fabric of the paper. Curran bares his pointed teeth. I remember Penhelm, a preening peacock of a man, his mouth dry and hands moist when I told him he was a sole descendant of Adrian General, one who'd fought against Hadrit's rebellion. He scans the affidavit. A forgery and not the first I've seen. He hands it back to you, but I have no time for the knights and their obsessions. Bring this to his commander, Cleaver, and show him the seal. He points to the wax stamped by his forged signature. If he compares it with another, he should be able to spot the difference. Alos's glaze flickers at to you. Doom a man for the soul the gods have gave him? Seems rather unfair. Looks as though you could use some help. What are you so busy with? His small fury hands gesture expansively at the papers before him. Hollowborn, growing unrest, and the ever-present political intrigues with so many missing souls. Missing persons are the least of our concerns these days. Tell me more about your skills. I check for soul connections, looking for lost things, missing things, or troublesome things, particularly where people of power and influence are concerned. I'm a cipher in Air Glanfath. We were once known as Brishwolgwen, Mine Hunters. Nice title, yes, but it wasn't until the Animancers began working with my kind 40 years ago that we truly understood our power. Now, we make some of the best detectives in the world, tracing souls. We can look at a person and see where they have been, or look at a weapon and see who has touched it. His nose twitches as he looks at you. Used for solving crimes, as you can imagine. It looks as though you could use some help. Curran wags a clawed finger. Not at liberty to discuss my work, unfortunately. Dunwood Row, ears only. A civilian would need the confidence of Lady Webb before I could share. Okay. So we could show it to Commander Cleaver, but I'm not sure, like... Wait, where the hell did he go? Oh. I just couldn't see him. So... We'll see. We'll see how all that works. Either these notes are written in code or the author's handwriting is atrocious. I'll go from notes speculate about the identity and location of a secret in Defiance Bay. Oh wow.
I'll see what I can do. The work of a moment. The work of a moment.
Fine leather armor. Well, we leveled up. A fine rod. Affixed to the wall are leads in a case involving apparently a caravan that disappeared en route to New Homer. The notes are scribbled in a cryptic shorthand. Beloved Land, poems from Eric Landfath. Pictures of all manner of folk are pinned to this board alongside notes scribbled in an indecipherable shorthand. How do we get back here? Oh. Unlocking this will require the proper key. Gotcha. Penhelm's face is white. Just talked to that little cipher, did you? One of my novitiates told me he'd seen someone in the wreckage room. He takes a slow step towards you, extending his hand. Give me the affidavit. I've done nothing to you. His other hand comes to rest next to his sword. What does this mean to you? Are you serious? This is my career. I've labored years for it, and it all hangs on some coincidence of a past life. Any Deerwood, rich or poor, can aspire to a position in the Crucible Knights. Anyone can rise to the rank of High Justice, except for those of us born with the wrong soul. Tell me how that's reasonable. Cheer up. You always thought you were someone special. Soon everyone will know who you are. Don't worry, I'm sure the Knights will let you stay to scrub the latrines. I can't. The thing is, I cannot remember what we were really supposed to do. I was really hoping he wouldn't just be right out here, because I was gonna look at it, look at what our mission was. And, Let's try number 1. What truth? That over a century ago I was some Adrian who's dust in the grass now? His hands grip the sword pommel. I'll ask you one more time. Give that back. I'm not interested in fighting you. Then you should have minded your own business. He draws his sword. I won't let you destroy my career over this. What the shit? So, hold on. Which one was this? Okay, so Penhelm seems to have taken Osric's armor for his own, but I have his affidavit in hand as a possible bargaining chip. Kieran, the cipher who signed off on Penhelm's affidavit, works at Hadrid House in Brackenbury. He should know for certain. Yes, okay, so we know it was a fake. And to get the breastplate, we say, hey, give us the breastplate. To Commander Cleaver. Osric was right. Donald Rowe found that Penhelm shared a soul legacy with a general who opposed Deerwood independence. The Crucible Knights would never have admitted him. The document I have is a fake affidavit created to hide Penhelm's tainted soul legacy. Kieran has suggested that his superior officer at Crucible Keep, Commander Cleaver, can have him dealt with. Osric was kicked out of the Crucible Knights by a fellow knight named Penhelm. Worse, his superiors confiscated a breastplate that's been in his family for generations. Osric has asked me to retrieve a breastplate from Penhelm. He believes his rival might have forged a document from Dunred Row, verifying the purity of his soul. If I can prove Penhelm's forgery, I may have some leverage to get the breastplate back. So, we really have no choice but to kill him? Hold on. I feel like that would be... That's just so odd. He comes right out after we did that and all of a sudden knows. We should have been able to go to him, I feel. Your superiors deserve to know the truth. Don't be a fool, we're in public. Which is why everyone will be shocked to hear that you assaulted a company of Crucible without provocation. Including one with such a spotless record as mine. So... Damn. I really just want to find out if we can do this without killing him. Let's see what happens when we give it to him. You're right, take it. He grabs it from you with trembling hands. Oh, okay. Okay, with a trembling hand. You have no idea what this means to me. He swallows. Thank you for seeing reason. You have lost an item, Penhelm's affidavit. Now do the same for Osric. Return his family breastplate. He hesitates, clutching the affidavit. I'm certainly grateful to you, but Osric earned his punishment and then sent you to take his anger out on me. Why should I do anything for him? Osric's family history is important to him. And he needs to get over it. Ah, shit. Tell Osric what happened. We didn't get the breastplate, though. See, I didn't just go ahead and give it to him because I figured he'll just be like, okay, and then just walk away. I didn't think he would actually give us the thing. Or, let us go. Consider it a favor to me. Osric's on his own. He's the one who tried to have me ruined. Take this instead for yourself. He gives you a nod and leaves.
Next time I get the chance, I'm buying you a pint.
We
That
completed
means
it?
a lot, Adair. Oh, do you want one too? Sorry, I meant for Isselmere. I'll get you one too.
I allowed Penham to leave with his reputation as well as Osric's. We'll want to know the outcome. Well, shit. I mean, everybody leveled up, so you know what? Screw it. We have 7. We should probably get a little bit more in stealth. But what really sucks is we can't do a lot of lore. Whatever. I don't care. Prestidigitators, whatever, missiles. Grants missiles 1 per encounter. 11 to 21 crush damage, crush and corrode damage. Plus 10% deflection. We could get that. Plus 40% health over 11 seconds. That would help on Then I'm gonna get the missiles on Eater. Plus 15% range damage. Okay. Allows the character to imitate the brutal, opportunistic strike of a rogue's sneak attack, taking advantage of opponents when they are at the most vulnerable. So I think this means we can actually shoot people being sneaky. Shouldn't this have given me all, oh wait. Why is it this gray bar? I don't know. So, he is in lore and mechanics. We're gonna give him more mechanics, because we need to be able to lockpick stuff and disarm traps. Drains 31.8 corrode damage as endurance. Is successful, weakened for 26 seconds. That could work. Creates a ball of energy in the caster's hand that can be thrown at an enemy, causing burn, freeze, corrode, or shock damage to anyone caught in the area of effect. Blights are continually replenished until the spell ends. So for 78 seconds, I like that. Okay. He has a sneak as well. Concentrates the power of blast, negating some of the target's damage reduction. It's not very much damage though. It's only 6 to 10. I kind of like his... I want to see how this sneak one works. I might give it to him as well. Oh, okay, so leveling up does not give us all our health. It doesn't take away these. Interesting. So he has survival and athletics. I think we'll go another athletics. And then he doesn't need sneak attack because he can't get close to them. Although I do like the charm one. I wish it was for longer though. It's only 8 seconds. I mean, that is a decent time. And he's heavy on the lore. And athletics will give him some more lore. Savage attack. Plus 20% melee damage, negative 5 melee accuracy. By attacking with unbridled ferocity, characters are able to sacrifice melee accuracy for a significant boost in damage. See, the thing is, I kind of need him to stay back because he gets... I mean, he just gets it handed to him. So we'll probably go with a defensive one. Oops. Shoot. Maybe actually give him some deep pockets. Yeah. That way he can hold more scrolls. And for him, he's good, big on lore and survival. Damn. We'll go with 6 because he's gonna get a bonus versus flanked enemies. Conjure 3 worms into existence to fight for the party. For 25 seconds. Now that's a little better. Causes enemies in the area of effect to be terrified. We already have someone who can do that. Stirs something deep inside enemies in the area of effect, charming them. Second level Chanter's spell requires 4 phrases. I don't know about that. The Chanter creates 2 bouncing beams of pure light that restore endurance and grant immunity to frightened and terrified on all allies struck by them. Also requires 4. That's a good one though. Amasses stray soul fragments to form 2 will-o-wisps that fight for the party. For 25 seconds. Paralyzes enemies in the area of effect for 11 seconds. So either that or this one. Requires 4, requires 4. Let's go with this one. So this only vessels thing on the AoE, I don't think we run into many vessels. I'll have to look, actually. You know what, let's get this one, and we'll see what vessels are really quick. Shit. So, which is our vessels? Wilder's. Wilder. Okay, skeletons or vessels. I know they're not. Gull is a vessel. The hell? Okay, so we don't have very many vessels. That may have been a waste. She's got survival and stealth. Put another one into stealth. And then let's give her the sneak as well. Because she's a ranged one. Ugh, but... Okay, so I'm very, very interested to see...
Aye?
Well,
Okay, so with his stuff. Keypad 5, what the hell? Okay, so I'm guessing since it's passive, we obviously don't have to do it, so...
Yes?
Oh, there's the Blight one. Okay. And here's the one that his ring... Oh no, he has this. So we have the ring on somebody else.
Hey.
He has the charm one now, which is good.
what?
Now he has more slots, yeah, for scrolls. What is this? Suppress affliction. Okay, I think that's something we recently got as well.
Yes?
That's the new one we got. So that means we need to edit his thing. So his B, let's go with, actually, with this one, let's take these out. Let's go, oh no, whoops. Let's go sure hand, movement speed. There and then there. Then B. There. Okay, now. I guess well, we did Rogue Knight. Tell Oscar what happened. Oh, I'm going to sneeze in a sec. Oh, sorry about that. But it says it's done. I can't. The thing that sucks is I can't remember why. I think he just asked us to do it or something. But I guess that one's done. Voice from the past. That's the one we were wanting to do. Over here.
As you say.
Oh no, everybody.
Well,
Sanatorium. Who this dude?
Good day, stranger.
Knitted. A woman stands in the shade of the garden, muttering to herself. She's fixated on the pages of a large and well-worn tome, seemingly oblivious to the blooming flowers and cool, fragrant breeze. She only looks up when your shadow crosses her page. What? Do you mind? I'm rather busy. What are you so busy with? She snaps her book shut. I'm studying soul attachment. We all know that souls move into people at birth and out of them at death, but we still have a lot of questions about what makes them stick, so to speak. What do you mean about making them stick? She brushes a stray lock from her forehead. Souls power bodies and give their tissues life, but only when they're firmly attached. It's separation that leads to a whole spate of soul-related ailments, including the hollowborn. But if we understood how to reattach souls, we could end Wadewood's legacy, maybe even conquer death. She scratches behind her ear. That's the theory anyway. Unfortunately, I don't have all the research I need to put it into practice. What exactly do you need? There's a manuscript called The Theorems of Pangram. It contains research from Pangram's experiments on detached souls. The Hall of Revealed Mysteries is rumored to have a copy in the Elder Archives. Pangram's work is considered to be one of the more daring animancy texts, not something generally circulated amongst novices, nor easy to get a hold of. I wonder if we might have a peek at it. The Thoriums could advance my research by leaps and bounds, but Grimda, the High Archivist, worships whale, which means she has some paradoxical views on sharing the restricting knowledge, and since she's not exactly a proponent of animancy, she tends to restrict the kinds of information that would be useful to me. Maybe she could be persuaded. You're welcome to try, but you wouldn't be the first. She sighs. Look at me spilling my troubles. It's kind of you to listen, but I should really get back to my work. Anything else? She looks eager to return to her studies. Tell me about yourself. I'm an animancer at the Sanatorium. Currently, I'm researching matters related to Wadewood's legacy. What's Wadewood's legacy? We know what Wadewood's legacy is. Good to hear someone speaking sense on the matter. I have some questions about the theorems of Pangram. Such as, tell me about the theorems of Pangram. Pangram was an animancer working in the Deerwood. He had some interesting theories about essence and some rather innovative techniques for studying it. He was able to reattach souls to bodies after death, although he wasn't able to prevent his patients from degenerating. He was controversial to say the least, but many are starting to realize that he was merely ahead of his time. What do you mean by degenerating? Nidian twists her hands together. Well, there seems to be a tiny problem with reattaching souls after death. The bodies will reanimate and may even retain memories and personality, but they develop a hunger for flesh, living soul-infused flesh. Without it, they start to devolve, decaying mentally and physically. If the process goes too far, which it eventually does, they become mindless corpses attacking anything that moves. We haven't figured out a way to avoid that. That is more than an inconvenient side effect. You've reproduced an unnatural curse with little to show for it. That sounds like necromancy. Nonsense. Necromancy is magic, this is science. She emphasizes the last word. Why doesn't Grimda lend you the books you need? The Hall of Revealed Mysteries is rather protective of its books, especially the rarer ones, and Grimda in particular. She hates animancy, thinks it's dangerous. I don't see how you can run the greatest library in Deerwood and be so adverse to the spread of knowledge and research, but I've never understood these religious types. Ayla scowls at the animancer. Some knowledge is best kept under lock and key. I like to know about the Hall of Revealed Mysteries. You'll find it in the Copper Lane district. It's dedicated to the god of secrets and revelations. Most importantly, it houses the largest and most expansive library in Deerwood. Well, that settles it. We simply must go see it, right? We've already been there, Kana. What are the Elder Archives? The Elder Archives hold the rarest, most arcane, and most powerful texts in the Deerwood. Think of it as the inner sanctum of the Hall of Revealed Mysteries. Needless to say, you need Grimda's permission to enter. That's all I wanted to know. Anything else? She looks eager to return to her studies. I'll leave you alone. Farewell. Go to the Hall of Revealed Mysteries in Copper Lane. We've been there, but, we'll go again. Retrieve Hellig's research from Modred's laboratory. Addendum added, two-sided. Let's check that out. Alof revealed that an awkward soul, Isilmir, dwells within him. He asks for help in finding an expert who understands his predicament. Find an expert on awakening somewhere in Defiance Bay. Alof mentioned that Defiance Bay is an entire institution. It appears that Brackenberry Sanatorium is our best hope for finding help for Alof. Okay, so this may be the place for two things. Nastique Poetry, a compilation. The most unfortunate tale of... We've read that. What your soul may be trying to tell you. Animancy in the modern age. Poems of Wodica. The Midwife's Memoirs. We'll talk to her in a minute. Adir Customs, we've read that. The table is set with an assortment of leaflets and booklets with titles like Practical, but I don't need to know, really. St. Wadwin Farmer Become God. Noble, who's this dude? Can't speak to him. Okay. Head Warden Ethilamore, a well-maintained statue of a middle-aged man, presides over the room, looking down, unblinking, over the bustle of harried academics, pestered by the hopeful desperate. A strong warmth emanates from it that you could sense from across the room. There's a human soul stored beneath the stonework. You feel it. You feel its attention turned towards you. Let's see. It has been some time since a watcher graced these halls. His voice echoes deeply, rumbling the floor beneath you. I am envious of your natural insights, traveler. I can only imagine how it might have helped my work in life. Now, what is it that has brought you to my sanatorium? You may have a member of the Laden Key in your midst. Does anyone here know anything about awakenings? There's an animancer on the lower floor who came all the way from Ruvia, whatever, to study them. Take the stairs down and look for Bestelage. Tell me about the sanatorium. A history lesson? This is a rare pleasure. Most come in here only concerned with cheating death in one way or another. We are an old institution as Deerwood goes. This is our 94th year. As with many cities, the growth of Defiance Bay brought with it a host of problems. One of the worst was that those born with, shall we say, ill-favored souls came to populate its streets in droves, thus the sanatorium. Brackenberry was a natural fit. It was growing, but there was also a lot of money here back then. This place owes its survival to the curiosities of the wealthy more than anything, I think. Our founding came at a time of great suspicion in animancy, much like today. So much progress has been lost to the mishaps of a few careless practitioners. But in time it was forgotten, as all things are. Since then we have been at the forefront of animancy's resurgence. We have played host to many gifted researchers and pushed the boundaries of our knowledge in ways never thought possible. Some of the first safe transferences were done here, and we have pioneered work in soul purification, lineage analysis, preservation. It's really quite a list, if you'll pardon my pride. Today it's, well, I can't say exactly the same. There's been some push to shut us down. It comes from the Deerwood's most excitable denizens, whose minds are more passionate than thoughtful, I'm afraid. People see this legacy, and they see it involves something they don't understand, so it's natural for them to subject people whose understanding exceeds theirs. It looks to them like we're hiding something. We were a representative in the palace for this very monument. defending the entire science of animancy at a hearing before the Duke. Absurd as it sounds, if it does not go well, it could be the end of animancy in Deerwood. I fear Avier may be swayed by all this unrest. Irrational thought it may be, we shall see. I'm curious as to how you've come to be in your present state. In the statue, you mean? Well, he laughed. I was old, and it seemed wrong to me, a lifetime spent in pursuit of discovery only to lose it all in death. Somewhere, someday, I would wake up in a new body, none the wiser, and pursue a different course entirely. All that experience wasted. If we are ever to unearth the principles behind our existence, it will be in spite of our condition. Of that I'm quite sure. To live on as part of something I helped build seemed to be a better legacy than what nature had in store. The transfer itself was quite simple as our techniques go, and for that I am grateful. Playing with souls is far easier to accept when they are not your own. I do miss being able to take an active role in these scholarly efforts here. Now and again one of our animancers will humor me and consult over some problem, but they are a jealous breed and are too often afraid to collaborate. If you are considering it yourself, I can tell you that it isn't for the easily bored. I'm looking for an animancer named Modred. Modred, of course, you will find him downstairs in the first room to your right. You may have a member of the Laden Key in your midst. Ethelmere groans, and the stone around him shudders. I could have done without hearing that today. Many have their intrusions been into our affairs. Of course, one can seldom be certain whether they've meddled or whether calamity has struck on its own. But a few of their less skilled infiltrators have been exposed from time to time. They are a perpetual nuisance. Once again, I am reminded of how envious I am of your gifts. I suspect they would be of some use in verifying one's identity. You are at odds with the Laden Key as well, I take it. They're up to something and I'm trying to determine what. They are always up to something. Of that you may rest assured. If their plots have come to involve you, you have my sympathies. Do you have some idea of who this person might be? I suspect it's a patient. Very well, in that case, I would recommend to speak first with our resident animancers. They have frequent interactions with both patients and colleagues. You'll find them up here or in their offices downstairs. You report anything suspicious to me immediately. This is my only request. Farewell. Question the animancers about the suspicious activity. Anybody? No. This painting of a rolling forest glen has a strangely soothing effect. Alright, downstairs we go. Wow.
And what does the flame reveal?
This place is creepy as hell. Oh, there's Modred. In a corner of Modred's lab rests a large weathered trunk. It seems like to contain something important, if only by virtue of its size. Examine the trunk more closely. Nothing grabs your attention except for the large padlock on the front. Whatever this animator keeps in here, he does not want anyone else to have or see. Let's leave the trunk alone for right now. Unexpected results. The K9 host was listless and unresponsive, but it was determined that this was simply the implanted feline soul. Modred. An animancer scribbles feverishly on a parchment scroll While his free hand dances through the air, counting off unseen objects, his lips move in silent discourse. As your shadow falls over his scroll, he looks up at you with mingled perplexity and irritation.
Greetings.
Can I help you? He forces a polite smile. Does the name Helig mean anything to you? Modred starts. Helig? Is a colleague of mine. He was primarily a necromancer, but he was involved in animancy too. He worked at the Sanatorium for several years. I dare say, everyone here has heard of him. He clears his throat. He left his post recently. I believe he was seeking new opportunities in the Valian republics. He leans forward. The advances they're making in animancy really are quite remarkable. Surely you've heard. He coughs again. Perhaps you haven't. Do you know a woman named Rona? No, I don't get out of the Sanatorium much. About Helig. Modred smooths his robes. As I said, he no longer works here. I've heard differently. He slides his spectacles down his nose. Just what are you insinuating? If this is your idea of a joke, I assure you it's in very poor taste. We could do my 13. I insinuate nothing. Subtlety isn't my style. Modred gapes at you. You wouldn't. I would, and I'd enjoy it. I usually do. Quit wasting my time, Animancer. Wait, Modred shoots you a bailiff look. There's no need for that. I confess, I killed that beast because nobody else had the spine for it. He was a madman. Years of perverse experiments, twisting healthy souls, torturing damaged souls, and for what? He flayed the essence of Glanfathian indigence for his amusement. He waves down the hall. If the public had known half of his deeds, they'd have razed this place to the ground. He jabs his finger on the desk. He used the Sanatorium to disguise his own sick proclivities. He brought shame on all of us and put the entire discipline at risk. I regret nothing. He calms down and sizes you up. Anyway, now you know the whole grisly story. Helig said you stole a grimoire from him? Madred's brow furrows. His grimoire? What's that man been telling you? Give him the key. He said you kept it in the trunk over there. Modred takes the key with a trembling hand, his eyes darting to the trunk behind you. You've been misled. There's no grimoire here, and Helig never intended you to find one. That wretched thing has an insatiable hunger for blood. He shudders. Thank you for denying him. I hope I can convince you now to return and slay him once and for all. He has something I need. I don't know what he's promised you, but he's already lied to you about the grimoire. I don't have it. If what I've told you about that evil, deceitful man hasn't swayed you, I don't know what else to say. He turns back to his papers. Trust him at your own peril. Huh. Open the trunk. A heavy lock holds the trunk shut. It's too sturdy to break, and the mechanics look too complicated to pick. You'll need to find the key. We had the key. What the shit?
Good day to you.
What are you working on? My area of focus is which, more specifically, how to cure them. Why do you study them? He huffs. What kind of question is that? Just think of all the families that could be healed, the lives that could be restored. What could be more important? His face has reddened and he turns away from you for a moment. He shakes his head. Animacy has an answer here. I know it. It's simply a matter of working it out. I see. So, hold on. I'm wondering... At 10:14, this is 5 minutes ago. Yeah, that was when we just got down here. If we go and look at that trunk, when we have the key, we'll be able to get in it? I mean... Because that seems odd.
Of course.
Whoops. So, we'll examine it, and then we will unlock it. You take the key you acquired from Helig and place it to the lock. It fits perfectly and turns with a solid clunk. The trunk holds no grimoires or treasures. Instead, you find yourself staring into the feral gaze and toothy maw of a twisted, monstrous creature. Its humanoid form has been overwhelmed by bony angles and terrible claws. With a start, you recognize the vague shape of a young girl beneath the elongated, malformed bones and grayish skin. It growls and leaps from the trunk, not towards you, but toward Modred. Modred has no time to scream before his throat is torn out.
A campfire would be good.
Alright, so, okay, we can trust this guy. No wonder the trunk couldn't be
As you
open.
wish.
Now, I don't reload stuff like that often. But I just had to know, you know.
Welcome.
I'll finish him. Modred nods, relieved. Good, I'm glad someone finally will. I must return to my work. I wish you well. Okay. Kill Helig of Thine. That was a weird dude, so.
I'm on the trail.
A strange device seems to be thrown with power.
How do you do?
Bella Siege. A woman paces back and forth, her feet crunching on the soft red carpet. She gestures and mumbles to herself, shaking her head as she pores over pages of notes. She almost walks into you. Ekasi, here I am. Looking so hard for answers in my research that I did not see the kiss standing in front of me. What can I do? I'm looking for an expert on awakenings. She laughs bitterly. Ah, that would be me. Though the lack of research subjects have made me more of an expert in counting floorboards. I would like to transfer Animancy's success in blustering pre-awakened souls to soothing those whose souls have already awakened, but I need subjects, and most of the patients here are too broken to produce reliable results. It is a tragedy I have to come so far for nothing. You're in luck. I have a volunteer. She springs to the balls of her feet, beaming. Gillard, who is it? What? I don't know these words. Alos's lips curl into a frown. I don't know about this. She grins more broadly still. Don't be silly. The process is perfectly harmless. All you must do is stand in that cage. I beg your pardon? I jest. You Adrians are so uptight. I do not even know what the thing is used for. It belonged to the last occupant of this office, I think. Now, they upgrade him to a cell. Again, I jest. She rubs her hands together, getting down to business. So, I need you to sit here. She takes Aloth by the shoulders and steer him to the couch. And try to relax, but don't try too hard, then you will not be relaxing. Indeed, his eyes are humorless. And you must also wear these. A little cold, but the copper will help conduct your essence. The Animancer fastens thick copper bands to Aloth's forehead and wrists as she ratchets them tighter. His face twitches with suppressed irritation. Now, I will examine your soul through my scope. She reaches into her desk and produces a long chambered tube. Knobs, dials, and small toothed wheels run along the side by the device. It is fitted with Adra lenses cut to different thicknesses and concavities. By manipulating them, I find the angles and densities that will allow me to track the anomalies in your soul. How exciting! I've never seen this sort of thing performed. Kane peers at the device with interest. It seems suitably complicated. Does this mean we'll get to talk to Isilmir more? I like that lady. She raises a finger. But first we must find this cunning interloper. You will answer some personal questions while I make adjustments. Sigourney pats his arm. Don't worry, I'm sure we won't hear any of it. Ayla squirms on the couch. Very well. She holds the scope to her eye and flicks a knob. To begin, tell me something personal about something from a time before your awakening. There's nothing to tell. I was just a normal child living in the synthwood. He looks to you, his face is set in a frown, but the rigid eyes of apprehension show through nonetheless. Talk about your parents. As you speak to Aloth, you feel your voice like a bell in your chest. It tolls softly, luring him into the midst of his own memory. Belisige doesn't seem to notice anything, but you feel as if your words are smoothing his essence, untangling its many threads. He closes his eyes. Mother is away most of the time, with the Thane's family, but I always know when she is coming home. Father's battles accumulate like storm clouds on the horizon. His fits of temper become swifter and more violent. It still shames him, knowing that her himnig to another man supports us better than his labors as a steward. This is good. I'm starting to see something. Continue. Tell us about the time you awakened. She bites her tongue as she twists one of the dials. I am in my 5th year of training. Mother is home. I can let my guard down a little, because when she is around, he is usually only angry with her. But he has heard that I had trouble casting missiles, that my flame shields are unstable. He is furious that I have failed, and Mother's presence reminds him that he has failed too. The first blow takes me by surprise. One moment I am sweeping the kitchen, the next I am sprawled on the ground, stupidly looking at flecks of my blood on the tile. His boots glistening with fresh polish thud across the floor. He kicks me in the stomach, and I curl up to shield my vitals. But it's pointless. Protecting one thing only leaves something else exposed. Still huddled on the ground, I retreat as fast as I can. I retreat until the vision of the kitchen and my own trembling knees is nothing but a pinprick against a field of black. His jaw locks and his eyes twitch beneath their lids. Mariko. Belisige furiously cranks the knobs along her scope. He's hypnotized himself into this old memory. You've got to bring him out of it. Quickly, I almost have it. You're safe, everything's fine. Aloth, you've got to wake up. This is just a memory. It isn't real. Or slap him. You're safe, everything's fine. Aloth's eyes snap open, but the expression you see in them isn't his. He's near safe when I hap upon him. Belisige sucks a deep breath through her teeth. That's it. I'm seeing a shift in the essence, something spreading and congealing. She glances at you over her scope. Keep talking. It seems to respond to you. What brought you here? Cracking bones of voices high in ire. That warm molasses feeling that creeps down your gut when crisis is nigh. Bilfetto. We have flares of a totally distant essence. She jots shorthand notes onto the page next to her and turns one clicking knob of her scope. Now try to get the two of them talking. Aloth, ask Ishilmar what she's doing. Ishilmar, tell Aloth why you awakened. Faye, he's the one needed me, hiding in his own bone bag, like a turtle in its shell. Aloth's face twists in fury. I never turned it over to you. Good, yes, very good. She rests from her scribbling only to make another adjustment to her scope. I can now see two separate patterns of essence. Where he ebbs, the other flows. It's as if the awakening soul fills the spaces that he leaves empty. She prompts you with a circling of her wits, quill still in hand. Go on. Aloth, what's this about ceding space to Ishilmar? Or Ishilmar, what exactly are you taking from him? Nigh more than I'm giving. Ye should ask what I did that odd man of his, how the last time he laid his hands on us, I break it in 3 places. Aloth's head jerks to the side. That wasn't your decision, it's never been your decision. Now I was awakening, but now I'm stuck with ye, and damned if I let you knitting drag us both through the scupper. Ah, very good. She lowers her scope and consults her notes. I think I finally got something we can work with. I've tracked Ishilmar's essence throughout the exchange. She had particularly high density index during the most heated portions of their argument, and her essence seems to localize most clearly in the lower portion of the subject's left ribcage. That's right around the spleen, which of course means that he is triggered by black bile. No doubt the subject's characteristic melancholy is to blame. Alof blinks back at you, and in the midst of his perturbation, you're not quite sure who's looking out of his eyes. That's utter horseshit. Black bile, is it? They've certainly spat their share. Kana studies Alof dubiously. It is a simpler explanation than I expected, all things considered. She glances at him. Yes, never mind my years of training. I suppose you have a better explanation. Azumar manifests when Alof is in danger and under pressure. You're close. I think Azumar appearances are related to potential sources of trouble for Alof. Alof's right. That's absurd. Well, say you're close. Belisage carefully scratches her jaw, her gaze darting between you and Alof. I suppose that could be true. She jots another note. I'll have to check against other research. He removes the copper bands. Well, and good for you, but what does this mean for me? Belisage frowns at her notes, tapping her cheek with a quill and making a grand show of concentration. However, you catch her stealing a glance at you over the pages. Izomar tries to take control from you when she thinks you can't face a problem on your own. You can't let her make these decisions for you. My thoughts exactly. I'll have to be more careful about her from now on. I've got a lot to process regardless. Thank you for your help. He does not look at Belisage. She sets her notes on the desk and returns to her scope. Well, I hope this has been as useful to you as it has for me. I finally have material worth publishing. You'll be the toast of Rivua. Ventura Alof. Okay, so we gain experience. His grimace melts into a crooked smile. Advancing the right-wise principles of animancy. Just what we've always wanted. As you turn to leave, you catch a darting movement out of the corner of your eye. Belisage is humming to herself, still occupied with her scope, but Alof is holding her notes. He's just about to tuck them into his cloak when he catches you watching. He holds a finger to his lips, his eyes wide and imploring. Please, I don't want my personal information published like this, especially not after her nonsense. No, you get your explanation and she gets her research. That was the deal. Yeah, the first one. He slides the papers back onto the desk, giving you a rueful look. I'm now gonna help you explain this one, scholar boy. Okay. Keep losing shit to bandits. Five more hours until the Western Barbican is finished.
Keeping an eye out. I'll see what I can do. The work of a moment.
North Ward patient record. Oh, these are all records. Okay. Talk to Ethomar about Azo. Note from Azo.
Hail, traveler.
Ripley. A young Orlan woman traces her fingers across the spines of the books in front of her, row by row, her motions quick and skittish, like a bird's. She does not notice you until you are nearly upon her. Oh my, you startled me. Are you supposed to be in here? What do you do here? I mostly help Master Azo set up and clean his equipment. I also keep his office organized since he's too busy to do it himself. If there's nothing else, I need to get back to work. I'm looking for an expert on awakenings. Well, we already found that person. Yeah, we know. Okay. We'll read those in a sec. I just want to check out this last room.
Keeping an eye out.
The edges of the cage are dented and scored with claw marks. Let's see. Okay, so they all went to here. Note from Azo. Ripley, I require more copper tubing for my next experiment. Do not requisition it from the Sanatorium stores. I don't have the time to deal with the head warden's inevitable questions. Cademan Azo. Northward patient record. Uskgrim. Subject is a male approximately 17 years of age, admitted for episodes of catatonia followed by occasional violent outbursts. Initial analysis of soul revealed severe fragmentation of essence deficiency. Said deficiency all but eliminates the possibility of utilizing the subject in present research. Idleman, the Midnight Man. Subject is a male, mid-20s, displays acute dissociation and paranoid delusional tendencies, causing anger and extreme violence. Dangers of working with the subject preclude possibility of further use in present research. Graham. Subject is a male, approximately early 30s, powers of speech absent, presumably as a result of the overfragmentation of his soul. As such, he is the ideal subject for the present research. However, experimentation has caused severe pain and induced panic, and I have had to enlist the aid of the guards in transporting him for more recent procedures. Batixa, the Pale Lady. Subject is female in mid-40s, awakened to a past life as a serial murderer, which now frequently emerges as the soul's dominant personality. Subject vacillates between violence and severe depression resulting from guilt of past deeds. Weak candidate for present research. Do we read this? Yes. Okay, so we can't go in here, which is most of that. I'm guessing that's where like all the patients and stuff are. Go ahead and talk to the statue again.
Welcome!
Have you learned anything of interest? I found records that Azo may be running some questionable experiments. Cademan Azo is in charge of patient welfare now. He's not authorized to run any more experiments. I am disappointed in Cademan. I'd hoped he would be the one to guide your inquiry. He'll be in his office or in the patient ward. I am granting you immediate access so you can find him. No doubt you will wish to speak to him further on this matter, and I for one am curious as to what he might have to say. Tread carefully in the wards. There are a few dangerous cases. I would ask that you do your best to not agitate the patients. They have enough troubles as it is. Okay. In the North Ward. Oh, okay, I don't say we still can't go through. Frail, a curved spine twists this woman's posture forward, her greasy hair draped over her large eyes like vines. She smiles at you. You must be visiting someone. Then, noting your appearance, she adds, a friendly visit, I hope. What do you know about this Animancer Azo? Oh, I like him very much. Many Animancers could care less about their patients, look at us like vermin for their experiments, but Master Azo treats us like humans, even the very sick. You can tell he does this to help people. He's helped me understand a great deal about myself, and I know he's done the same for others. It's too bad what they did to him. He hides it well, but I know he's still affected by it. What happened? Frail's eyes dart back and forth, and her voice lowers to just above a whisper. They don't like to talk about it. But there was an accident. He was said to be one of the brightest in Deerwood. That was his reputation here, and that was what brought me to seek treatment. People say it was ego that drove him to try and solve the legacy, but that's hogwash. Even if he was a bit of a showman, he loves his homeland. He thought he could help. He wasn't one to speak of his work, suspected his colleagues might have tried to steal it, but he told me once that he had figured out a way to create a soul. Not a soul exactly, mind you. How did he put it? A proxy, I think he called it. Had some machinery that drew energy out of the very ether. Can you imagine? The point is, it was going to help with the legacy. It was going to make Hollowborn into something easier to love and care for. Gods know that's something we need. Do you know what they call those empty little babies in Anders' gift? No, tell me. They call them buoys, because so many of them are found floating face down in the water. These are mad times. Anyway, Master Azo has scheduled a public demonstration of his work in Copper Lane. He was so excited. And then the next day he was locked in his office, turning away visitors, I heard, and he stopped seeing patients. I don't know exactly what happened, and I don't have the heart to ask him, but I'm glad they're letting him treat people again. Do you know where I might find Azo? I think I've seen him around today. Have you checked the laboratory? It shares a wall with his office. He's been spending most of his time there lately. Have any of the patients here been acting unusually? Well, there's Baxia, who relives a murder she committed more than 5 lifetimes ago. Idleman, who they say only has half a soul and who was found collecting the faces of others because he believes his own to be a false one. Graham, he speaks in a language no one understands and wails at night sometimes. Different from their normal behavior, I mean. Well, yes, I suppose. But nothing they didn't volunteer for. Master Azo let us know that a number of patients in the North Ward had volunteered for a new therapy and would be escorted to his laboratory to receive treatment. The North Ward has our most troubled cases. I'm glad some of them have chosen to get help. It seems to me it's gotten quieter over there since it started. It's Graham I see them taking in the most. He struggles, but he always was a bit of a wild one. Would I be able to visit the North Ward? They like to keep them separate. I don't know that I've ever seen the guards allow a visitor, just Master Azo. You might ask him, he's very sympathetic. Why are you in here? Behind her hair, her cheeks flush. I don't want to say. You'll think less of me. I'm listening. These last few years haven't been kind to me. They haven't been kind to anyone, really. I try not to think of it as personal. I lost my husband and both boys in the Saints' War. My daughter, the legacy took her before she was ever mine. I made do. What else can you do? I moved into a tiny place in Otter's gift, got by mending clothes and on the kindness of strangers when I had to, but I was surviving and the gods were watching over me. I could live with that. Then one day this noble woman comes in, wants this fancy gown fixed. Gorgeous thing, this shade of blue I'd never seen before, only I had. Looked at it and reminded me of something I had that they call an awakening. I remembered being a noble woman myself in another life. People dotting over me, men dotting over me. Me, the best food, the most beautiful home, all the things you'd never dare to dream of. They were mine. It was poison knowing that. All those things I had that I'll never have in this life. It did something to me. My food started to taste rotten. The walls in my little room seemed to close in around me. I stopped being able to sleep in my own bed. So I came here. It was that or break into an estate and start ordering servants around. It seems like such a silly thing to worry about. You don't have to tell me, but I can't get past it. And I start to wonder, did the gods choose this life for me? And if so, what terrible thing must I have done to deserve it? Maybe you'll get there again one day. If not in this life, then another. The strange part is I think even the best wouldn't be good enough for me anymore. I think it must have gotten to the point when I was that noble lady. Farewell. The man who waits. Well then. The crooked boards show deep gouge marks. They're spaced like folk or elven fingernails.
I'll see what I can find.
Looks like a hidden door or something. Why was this one stealing then? That's weird. Acquire the proper key. Oh, I completely missed this.
I'll see what I can do. The work of a moment.
Ooh, Raven Wing. It's a May 16 to 23 crush damage. The copper wires and conduits are shiny, the device is warm to the touch. Something churns and bubbles in this tank.
I'll see what I can do. The work of a moment.
Blade and Golan. DR7, recovery speed, breakout preservation. Let's see about these. And there's Azo, but first, let's look around a little bit.
What do you suppose that bally thing is?
Ah. Then that one. Okay, let's see. We got this. Let's see, DR7. Stun duration, knockdown duration. Plus 50 on defense while stunned. Plus 50 defense while prone. Plus 2 damage reduction. This is actually very good for someone who's up close. Unfortunately, his is 10 and does a bunch of this shit. Who else is usually up close? I guess Durance. But honestly, he needs the thing on stunned. It's one-handed, so is this. I wonder, since this is a one-handed, can he... Oh, he can. We'll take that shield away. And we'll try that out. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and stop this here before we talk to Azo. Hope you guys are enjoying it. Have a great one, and I'll see ya. Bye.